Hello, Lovelyn here and welcome to Romance Book Club. So I'm going to discuss the book Ivory and Bone by Julie Eshbaugh. So this book, I liked it. I liked it a lot actually. It looked like it was set in back like the Ice Ages or something like that. They had mammoth and saber-tooth and all sorts of creatures that you definitely don't see anymore. Just really kind of reminded me of the Ice Age, but which I feel like that's what was set in. They lived in it almost in like a hut made of mammoth's bone and the mammoth's fur and other types of animals' fur, and to sort of create like a rug type of surface for them in their living spaces. So there were 3 clans, which turned out to really be 2 clans. It's just one of the clans had a falling out and they split up. So that was the Manu clan, and there's the Busha clan. But the Busha clan were the ones that had a falling out, and another part of the clan split up and became, I think, the LA clan, something like that. And basically in that clan, the Busha clan, the elder, they have elders in each clan, which is like the oldest person that's been chosen to sort of direct the whole family, the whole clan, into the direction where they go, what they do, how they hunt. So in the Busha clan, originally, the elder of that family was the father, who had, I believe, 3 children. So 2 daughters, the oldest son, who later became the elder after his father passed away. And their names were, I believe, was Chef and Maya and Zuri. In that order, that was the age. So Chef later became the elder after their father passed on, and he was being challenged for this position by another family who believed they should be the leading family elder and not this young boy. But it's really supposed to stay into the family until, I guess, they all go off. But there was a falling out on who the rightful elder should be, so they decide to move on to the south. And they were challenged for this move, and people said, no, you're directing us wrong. So they had a falling out, blah, blah, blah. So point blank, they split up. One moves to the south and the other stays more in the west. And which turned out not to have a lot of food, which was the issue in the first place, and why the original elder family wanted to move, to start more with the fishing and learning other ways of supporting themselves and feeding themselves. So that was that fun. So the Manu clan had their own elder, their own family, and in that family there were, I believe, so there was Cole, who was the oldest son, and then there was Peck, who came next, and then there was, I believe, Kesh, and then Rue. So I feel like there were 4 boys, yeah. There were 4 boys, no sisters. I don't believe there was any sisters. And originally they had a female who was interested in the second brother, Peck, but he saw her more like a sister and didn't want to marry her. But they were hoping that, oh, well, someday another clan will come along and they will have women. So that was like a big thing. By the age of 15, you're supposed to be set out, you know, with a partner to get married. So they obviously were short of the women, and they were getting worried with, well, who are we going to marry? Because they got all these boys and there's nobody to marry, no female to marry. And turns out the other clan that left the Busha clan, the Eli clan, came over because the sister Maya was needing a husband. Her youngest sister is set to marry somebody, but she can't marry until her oldest sister gets married. But Maya's got lots of issues with the Manu clan because back 5 years ago, her mother, their mother, was murdered, but by accident, but still killed. And the person she was betrothed to also got killed in the crossfire of the whole misunderstanding that occurred. Her mother was accidentally killed because they thought she was like a wolf, and because she was all crouched down and she got caught in the crossfire and she got killed. And then the guy that killed her got killed by the woman's son because he thought he did it on purpose, and then that man's wife wanted to kill the woman's son but missed and instead killed a little boy who was betrothed to the woman's son's sister and would have been married as they got older. So that was all that jumble and that stuff. But I really liked the book. I thought it was really cool. It was very interesting. I did get upset with Cole a lot because he really likes Maya, but she really had a big attitude with him because he didn't know too much about what happened 5 years ago, and she was carrying on this sort of anger in her. But she later realizes that that she does really like him. But by this time, another girl comes along. Her name's Lo, and she turns out to be really bad. She turns out to be really bad because her goal was to basically kill Chef, the elder of the clan that split up from their clan. She was part of the Busha clan, and it was her father that later became the elder that was challenging the other family. And after he passed on, she turned out to be the elder, but she kept acting like her father was still alive to Ko in the Manu clan so that she can get more information and they wouldn't suspect anything of her. But point blank, towards the end, she gets really pissed off, oh, we're going to take over. Why should they have succeeded and be living a great life when we're the ones suffering and they were the ones that were the wrong? She'd been harboring a lot of hate for that family because she believed that they abandoned her. But she realizes later that that's not necessarily true, and it was all in her head, and she just didn't want to admit it to herself. But before she realizes that, she commands her people to burn the Manu's huts down because they're looking for the other clan, and they would say they're not here. They thought they were hiding them, so they're like, we're gonna burn the whole place down until you tell us. Couldn't tell them, so they still burnt the place down. They managed to save all of that, but people got injured, but nobody died. And then after that, she goes looking for the other clan, and by this time Cole and Maya had sort of been getting closer with their relationship. Zuri and Peck had fallen in love and had a serious connection, but the only problem with their relationship was the fact that she was already betrothed to somebody else in her own clan that her brother wanted her to be with, but she didn't necessarily want to be with. But later on, he relents and decides, yes, she can be with Peck, the other clan. But all in all, so Lo and her people form an attack on the Eli clan, which used to be part of their clan, the Busha clan, and she sort of gets caught in the crossfire once again. She is fighting with Maya, and they used to be best friends when they were in the clan together, but they had a huge falling out. And during that process of fighting with Maya, they both fall over, but she was holding her arrow, a spear at the time, and she fell onto that, so she got stabbed. But she didn't die yet. She actually died from drowning, accidental drowning. But Maya was trying to save her, because she basically at the end asked for forgiveness and said, "I'm really sorry. I was in the wrong." She knew she was going to die, but, you know, she ended up drowning and dying from that. But like I said, all in all, the book was really good. I don't want to give too much away, which I probably have already, but whatever. I would give this book, I'll give it an 8. Yeah, an 8. Maybe even a 9. No, I'll give it an 8. It was good. I thought it was well written. It caught my attention. It's very interesting to sort of think about that lifestyle back then. And it's not your typical romance, because all throughout the time she kind of fought it, but you could see that there was that connection there, which you could appreciate in a book. You don't always need it to be all lovey and all flowers and roses and all that stuff, but you could see that even though they were fighting it, they still always had that connection. And for me, what I got from it was like, oh gosh, like back then, you know, they didn't have like television or video games or like entertainment like that. Their form of entertainment is actually just, oh, let's go running, race down to here, or do this, or spear throwing, that sort of thing. And it was very family oriented, and each family even sort of lived in the same tent thing. And I don't know, there was something that seemed very peaceful about it. They each had sort of like their own little island, and they had the sea between them, so they had to use canoes to go to each end. And if you did go, instead of going through the water, you went walking instead. There was a lot more danger with that too, because there was like saber-tooths that, you know, could attack you at any time and usually prowling. So, yeah, it was very like humbling, just that the lifestyle, it felt really peaceful. And I mean, of course they had their own stresses. I mean, gotta worry about being eaten constantly, or what you're going to eat, and you gotta always hunt for your food. You know, you can't just pop to the store, or pop to McDonald's or something like that. You can't do that. I mean, they've really gotta hunt for their meals. But there was a part of it that just seemed really peaceful, of like, if they can be happy and they don't have all these worldly distractions that we have nowadays, it just seemed very, very refreshing. And it sort of brings you to appreciate what you have, like for now, the time that you're living in, and knowing that things are much easier. It may look dreary at times, but you know, for the most part, things are much easier, you know, to a point. But yeah, so I'll give the book an 8. I liked it. Definitely pick it up. By Julie Eshbaugh. Ivory and Bone, which is good. And in terms of that, the ivory and bone was some like sort of like necklace that Lo and Maya would wear. Maya had the ivory, which used to be her mother's, and Lo had the bone, which originally is what the daughter is supposed to have. But yeah, and sometimes their spears could be made out of ivory and bone as well for the tip of the spear. So that's in terms of ivory and bone, and I think it was more based on Maya and Lo's history of the clans that were divided, the one that became 2, and then after that they became 1 again when peace came along. But obviously Maya does end up with Cole, because she realizes, oh gosh, he really does care about me and I really do trust him. So like I said, it's not your typical love story, but it's but it was refreshing. It was nice, and I enjoyed it very much. So yeah, that's Ivory and Bone. So check it out, read it, leave your comment if you like it. Let me know what books, romance books you're liking, and I can possibly read it too. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and thank you once again for watching.